everyone, welcome to Showcase 10 Video 2. You're about to see all the entrants for our 10th showcase, which was to create a flag using all 6 colors of the standard set. 30 of you will be participating, so competition is going to be fierce. And don't forget, we also have the Flag This Ghost flag. As usual, we're not going to reveal who the creators of the flag are in this video, so you won't know which flag is ours. But don't worry, in the next video when we reveal the results, we will reveal all the creators. And just before we reveal the flags, the link to the ranking form is in the video description where you can rank each flag on a scale of 0 to 10. So let's check out the flags. First up is a flag for a fictional country called Quator. Quator means 4 in Latin. Red is for the northwest region, yellow represents the northeast region, green is for the southeast region, and blue represents the southwest region. The black circle represents the unity between the 4 regions, and the white field represents peace. Next is the flag of a fictional country called Malletland. Some people dispute the symbolism of the yellow. It may be the sun or the light, depending on who is asked. Black symbolizes the Black River in the south of the country, which is where the country was proclaimed. And the Black River is indeed black. Green represents the hills and mountains. Red symbolizes the blood fought for independence. White symbolizes peace, and blue symbolizes the coast of the country. Next up is a flag for Crayola. The white represents children's care and happiness. The black represents the sadness before Crayola was made. The red represents apples because apples are good for you. The yellow represents the light. Green represents health and life, and the blue represents the ocean. About a couple decades ago, an astronomer discovered a mysterious planet while using the observatory to research many kinds of stars. Believing this planet could be habitable, like Earth, he launched a few rovers to that planet in order to see the environment and atmospheric conditions. When the results and images came back, the astronomer must have been hungry, because every region on that planet got named after some sort of food, with the exception of Sweet Tooth Desert, which he named while he was eating a turnover, and when the time came to give a name to this planet, Entree was chosen, which was a very unusual thing to name a planet, but it was accepted nonetheless. The triangle pointing up represents the fact that when this planet was discovered, the telescopes were aimed straight up. Each color represents one of the regions of the planet. Red represents the hot climate of the deep-fried springs. Black represents the tall chocolate cliffs. Blue represents the frozen lakes and rivers of the Doberge Mountains. White represents the foamy oceans surrounding the Cookie Islands. Yellow represents the strudel and turnover-shaped rock formations on Sweet Tooth Desert. And green represents the lush vegetation in Pear Forest. The disk represents the sun the planet is orbiting, and the star represents the discovery of a new planet. Next is the flag of Diamond City, a fictional city located in the middle of a desert, home to a huge diamond mine. The white diamond at the center symbolizes diamonds. Yellow symbolizes the desert as well as the huge wealth derived from diamonds. The remaining 4 colors represent the diversity of the city as people from all over the world live and work in the city. Next, we have an Earth flag. The cross is a symbol of everyone on Earth coming together and joining in the middle. The stars in the cross represent the 8 continents of Earth, with the 9th star in the middle representing Earth. The blue color represents water, oceans, lakes, rivers, sea. The red represents the blood of all living things. The white represents the humans of Earth. The black represents evil, war, and destruction. The green represents the land of Earth and the plant life. The yellow represents the sun that all life needs to live. The blue could also represent day or the sky. The white could also represent the clouds in the sky. The black could also represent the night sky. Next up is an alternative flag for Germany. The traditional DDR symbol is depicted along with a wreath to show the traditional Roman heritage of the German people. The idea of the flag is to show Roman heritage while still being German. Next, we have the flag of the 6th Great Union. Red symbolizes the bloodshed of the people. Yellow represents a bright future of the Union. Blue symbolizes water and ice. White represents snow and purity. Green symbolizes nature, and black the fight against darkness. Next up is a flag that represents music and art. Green stands for zombies, white stands for eagles, red stands for bloodshed, black stands for emptiness, yellow stands for cries of Mr. Squidward, and blue stands for cries of Mr. Patrick the 45th. Next up, we have a redesign for Jamaica, which uses all 6 colors of the standard set. The Creator didn't supply us with any symbolism. Next is a redesign of Maldives. The yellow and blue symbolize the lush golden beaches and beautiful ocean that surround the island nation. The red represents the blood of the nation's heroes and their willingness to sacrifice in defense of their country, as well as the general warm climate of the country. The green crescent and star represents Islam, as it is said that 100% of the Maldivian population is Muslim. The white stripes signify peace, while the black stripes represent ethnic diversity within the country. Next up is a flag that represents history and time. Yellow represents hope. Blue symbolizes the sky and happiness. White symbolizes peace. Black represents the dark past. Red represents the bright today. And green symbolizes the unfolded future. Next up is a flag of the universe. Red represents fire. Blue represents the waters. Yellow represents the stars. Green represents the nebulae. White represents the skies. And black represents dark matter. The hoist represents the beginning of time, and the fly represents the end of time, hence why the flag is symmetrical. Next is a flag for a new East Germany. Black stands for the German state of Berlin, red stands for Brandenburg, gold stands for Saxony-Anhalt, green stands for Saxony, white stands for Thuringia, and blue stands for Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Next up, we have a rainbow flag. Red, yellow, green, and blue are the colors of the rainbow, black is the earth, and white is the sky. This next flag represents the Union of Bosatinia, which includes Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Slovenia, and parts of Serbia. The green line represents the land and culture. The middle white represents justice across the nation, and the blue line represents the Adriatic Sea that borders the Union. The red stripes along the white show the times these countries were occupied by empires. The black shows unification, and the yellow symbol represents peace across the country, as well as the stars that represent the three main countries in the Union. Finally, the red and yellow star in the white stripe represents the times the country was under Yugoslav control. Next is the flag of Saint Nomic, a fictional Caribbean country. Yellow symbolizes the sun, blue represents the earth orbiting the sun, green and red represent the great two parties in the parliament. Black and white symbolize the black and white communities in the country who can choose which party they want in the elections. Next is the fictional country of Ambesia. Blue represents the waters of the country. The white star symbolizes the start of the republic. Black represents the race of the people. Red symbolizes the bloodshed of the people. Yellow symbolizes the wealth of the country. And green symbolizes the lush forests in the south. Next is an alternative flag for Chad. This flag was made to end the Chad-Romania flag war. The colors blue, gold, and red come from the current flag of Chad. Blue symbolizes the sky and hope. Gold stands for the sun and desert, and red signifies the bloodshed over Chad's independence. To further distinguish itself, the shape of the flag was changed to a swallowtail pennant, and the iconography of the National Order of Chad was added. The white star symbolizes unity and peace. The green circle symbolizes work and Pan-Africanism, and the black arrowhead symbolizes progress and that Chad is more progressive than Romania. Next is Romania's answer to Chad's new flag. This flag was done in collaboration with the previous flag as a project to tackle the problem of Chad and Romania having two practically identical flags. Like in the current flag of Romania, blue represents liberty, yellow represents justice, and red represents fraternity. The green circle represents nature and Romania's role in preserving Earth's ecology. The black horns represent the war-ridden history of Romania and the will of its people to defend the country. The white star represents the bright future and that Romania will outshine Chad. Next is an alternate Jamaican Revolution flag. The flag is the result of an alternate history of events where Jamaica had to revolt to gain its independence, rather than working with the British to give it independence after World War II. The black represents the people and the keeping of Jamaican culture. The yellow represents prosperity. The green represents a future where the new country of Jamaica will flourish. The red represents imperialism. The blue represents the wave of the British. The white represents peace, hope, and the expulsion of the British from the island. Next is the flag of Crow Island, a fictional country. The white cross design symbolizes the two rivers intersecting through the country, which splits the island into 4 subdivisions. The white itself stands for peace in the nation. The 4 subdivisions are represented by the 4 different colors on the corners of the flag. Red symbolizes the subdivision of Pit Flame, which is also home to the capital of Crow City, represented by a yellow star. The yellow star symbolizes hope. Black symbolizes the subdivision of Lineland, green the subdivision of Delimia, and blue the subdivision of Bayville. Next is an alternative flag of South Africa, which was inspired by the real flag of South Africa, which uses the same 6 colors. The upper red stripe, lower blue stripe, and white fimbriation denotes the Dutch and British colors that once flew over the country, while the black represents the African majority of the nation. The white symbolizes peace between all people after years of struggle. The diamonds across the center represent the country's rich resources, gold for mineral wealth and green for the agricultural wealth. They are designed to represent a protective wall of Zulu shields and harken back to the iconic Ndebele geometric art. Next is the flag of the Empire of Mar. It is a fictional 18th century nation founded in April 1775. This nation is a military dictatorship where the army is highly revered. The green field symbolizes the army as a whole, and the 5 stars each symbolize one branch of the army. The red star for artillery, the yellow star for cavalry, the white star for engineers and staff, the blue star for infantry, and the black star for the medical service. This next flag is called Night and Day and represents a landscape similar to the flags of Estonia and Ukraine. The night and day sides represent the beauty of the land at any time. The red stripe represents the mountainous desert. The green stripe represents the lush vegetation. In a parallel universe during the American Civil War, Texas abolished slavery and became an independent country, again renaming itself as the Free Republic. The Free Republic stayed neutral during the war and became a safe place for former slaves who escaped from the South. The Free Republic remained an independent country. The 13 white and red stripes represent the heritage of the United States' first 13 colonies. The blue arrow with the white star represents progress and the Lone Star State. The black triangle represents the people's strength and creativity, allowing them to overcome difficulties. The yellow represents the sun and the country's wealth. The green represents the fertile land as well as hope. This next flag is called the East Asian Cosmos because it's based on the ancient Chinese view of the world with 5 elements, 4 seasons, and 4 directions. The flag has 5 parts. Black, which represents north, water, and winter. Red, which represents south, fire, and summer. White, which represents west, metal, and autumn. Blue and green, which represent east, wood, and spring. The reason blue and green are together is because East Asian languages originally made no distinction between blue and green. Yellow represents the center of the world and all the transitional spaces and times in between. This is why there are yellow lines dividing the 4 regions of the flag. Next is a flag design we're calling Vote for Me. Red stands for red, blue stands for blue, yellow stands for yellow, black stands for black, green stands for green, and white stands for polar bears. This next flag represents a beach sunset and was inspired by Art Deco. The circle represents the sun setting. The different layers represent the sea in blue. The green represents nature. The yellow represents the warmth of the sun and the sand. The red symbolizes love and harmony and the happiness of vacations. The white symbolizes the sky, hence the placing of the sun on this field. And finally, the black symbolizes the night once the weekend is finished. This is the flag of Okta-Levendig, also known by its official name, the United Kingdom of Okta-Levendig. The right and left bands are in blue, while the center band is in green. To the left is the coat of arms of Okta in yellow and red, and to the right is the coat of arms of Levendig in white and black. At the center is the unified coat of arms of the 2 kingdoms in white, blue, white, and green. The following is the symbolism of the colors. Blue represents the sea that surrounds the unified kingdom. Green represents the soil of the island. Yellow represents the rich resources of the land. Red represents the valor of its people during various invasions of the country by outside powers. White represents the harmony between the peoples of these 2 kingdoms. Black represents the determination to succeed till the end. Finally, we have the imperial flag of the United Chinese Empire. The flag represents the most recent 6 imperial ethnically Chinese dynasties of medieval China before the king took over. White represents the Han Dynasty, purity, the snowlands, and panda bears. Green represents the Jin Dynasty, fertility, the forests, and the Chinese alligator. Red represents the Sui dynasty, bravery, the deserts, and the Tibetan antelope. Blue represents the Tang dynasty, loyalty, the rivers, and the pink dolphin. Yellow represents the Song dynasty, creativity, the beaches, and the Chinese pheasant. Black represents the Ming dynasty, beauty, the swamps, and the red-crowned crane. The yin-yang symbol represents Chinese culture in the form of the Taoist religion. For not only does it represent heaven and earth, but also knowledge and strength. It also represents the light and dark sides of our human nature. It also represents a half moon, for one is the light and the other is the dark side. You can also interpret a solar eclipse due to the vertical rays on its four corners. It also represents an omen that Christianity is just over the horizon. So those were all the flags. Be sure to have your say by ranking all the flags on the ranking form. The closing date for voting is December 3rd, 2022. We will try to get the results video published as soon as we can after the closing date. The flag with the highest score will have their flag reviewed in that video. Best of luck, everyone, and may the best flag win.